Indonesia is a developing country with a population of more or less 273.5 million people. This causes so much household waste to be generated. Indonesia has some of the most biodiverse and important coral reef systems in the world, but over the past few decades, those habitats have faced a number of challenges, including plastic pollution. One of the factors that cause environmental damage, which is still a big homework for the Indonesian people, is the disposal of plastic waste. Indonesia now is still battling one of the greatest environmental challenges of our time, which is marine plastic debris. To support the government of Indonesia's efforts on combating plastic waste and marine debris and its leadership in implementing the agenda, a better understanding regarding the current state of this challenge is needed. Plastic bags have become hazardous and difficult to manage waste. It takes tens of years or even hundreds of years for the plastic bag waste to be completely eliminated. The use of plastic in modern life is seen very rapidly, causing the level of human dependence on plastic to be higher. A recent study found in Indonesia to be the second largest contributor marine plastic pollution after China. Overconsumption of single-use plastic and bad waste management are largely to blame. According to the UN, around 8 million tons of plastics are dumped into the ocean every year. Indonesia contributes more than 600,000 tons of that, estimates the Indonesian Institute of Sciences. The COVID-19 pandemic has only made things worse. Discarded masks and other protective gear have added around much more waste to the country's leaking waste management system. Public awareness of the dangers of plastic still tends to be lacking. Even today, there are still those who throw their household waste into open rivers, which is clearly detrimental to many things, even their own lives too. With a lot of garbage piling up, it also brings a lot of losses for our own country. That's why we need to improve the system. The system has even been created for a long time because the waste problem in Indonesia has never been resolved until now. We call it the 3R, namely reuse, recycle, reduce. Reuse means that we can reuse the waste that we produce. Reuse waste that can still be used for the same function or other function. The next is reduce. Reduce means that we can reduce the use of things made of plastic or other materials that are not good for the environment and replace them with new things that can be created. For example, aluminum straws that have been rampant lately, or you can replace the plastic bags with paper bag when you on grocery store. And the last one is recycle. Recycle means to recycle trash, which recently has also been applied by many people, such as collecting used plastic, detergent packaging, and turning it into a bag or hat that can be reused. And sometimes even those who sell it. It makes recycle as an economic field for the makers. Even it will generate for our creative economy. In Indonesia, there are already several associations that support the recycling activity, but unfortunately, there are still a lot of people who don't care about that. The government's contribution is very much needed in cases like this, and maybe it can be regulated by the right law and means that it can also be understood by all levels of society, regardless of position in social life. Rules must be enforced that they will really realize that what they have done so far is a violation and even violates state laws, in order to arise in them a sense of guilt and remorse that makes it not going to repeat in the future. So that's why we will criminalize perpetrators so that they can feel deterred by what they are doing, which is not true. Thus, this house agrees that we will criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. Why? Because this has become a bad habit of our society, and we feel this needs to be followed up in the future in order to build a better nation in the future. Because what we do now will turn to our children and grandchildren, or even our next generation. So let's take a good care of our earth.